What's up, guys? This is Keith here from Bulldog Productions. We are reviewing Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
So, what do you guys think?
It's pretty good.
I was a little disappointed.
What?
I thought it felt a little rushed.
No, I thought it was pretty awesome.
But overall, it's a pretty awesome movie. Matt, you want to give the plot summary?
Read the book.
I guess.
They have a 900-page plot summary. You can look it up.
Okay, so
Really?
basically,
Really?
so Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. What is it about, you may ask?
Yes, what
Let
is
me
it
tell
about?
you. I'm going to tell you. Okay, so in the first Deathly Hallows, which sucked, we saw
Didn't suck.
in a grand total,
Sucked.
we
Set it up for
we
this
saw
one.
Harry, Ron, and Hermione camping.
For an hour.
I mean, I can do
No,
that.
I was supposed to say. And in part 2, and in part 2, they do everything else. So anyway, part 2 kind of starts. Basically, it's exactly where the first one left off. You know, Dobby just died, and they're kind of
You just ruined part 1 for everybody else.
everybody's already seen it. Anyway, so basically, everybody.
Oh, a spoiler.
Everybody's kind of regrouped, and they're planning on where to go to destroy the remaining Horcruxes, and so that's pretty much it. That's like most of the movie. They're just going, they're looking around, and most of them. Keith, stop that face. Anyway,
What?
we're looking for the Horcruxes.
Voldemort doesn't find his nose.
I
Pissed
know.
me off.
that was disappointing. But anyway, and then at some point they have to go to Hogwarts because they realize the remaining Horcruxes are either hidden in the castle or like with Voldemort.
And why they figured that out, they never actually say. He assumes magically they're at Hogwarts.
They're at Hogwarts,
Well, if it starts
obviously.
at Hogwarts, has to end at Hogwarts. God.
Anyway.
Finish just the way we started.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean,
Together.
if you didn't like part 1, it's probably because you thought it was too boring, which I will
This one's
agree with.
definitely better than
This
part
is
1.
way better than part 1 because
All the action.
this is what I expected. Part 1 was all the boring stuff leading up to it, and part 2, the ending of the book was
Action.
always all the action, and whenever Harry finally faces Voldemort.
And the fights are pretty
Oh,
awesome.
and also,
I mean, there isn't much to the plot. I mean, it's what you expect.
Well, no, but if you were any confused, it sums up everything. Like, all 7 freaking books are just summed up in, like,
so that's the plot.
10 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
All
So
the
then,
scenes.
I mean, you have the acting, which this is probably the best it's been, I would say.
It's
I
better
mean-
than the first one.
They've all...
I mean, I think
You're all
Harry
listening
still.
now, Harry.
Harry still. He still sounds stupid when he's trying to be completely serious. I think that's never gonna change.
He's way out of shape, too. It's like he's breathing
He
really
took his
hard like,
shirt
all the
off and
time.
he's like...
Snape's like too fat in this movie.
Yeah,
he got
he's-
huge.
No, but this was Snape's, like, best one, I thought.
He's barely
Snape
in it.
was... Yeah, he died.
Don't ruin that.
Sorry.
This is. If you don't want to know what happens, or for some reason you haven't read the book, we may spoil things, and we're going to.
Voldemort dies.
But if you haven't read the book, then what's wrong with you? I
Harry
don't know what you're
dies.
doing. All right. So anyway,
Oh, I didn't read the book.
shut up, Keith. Okay, so
But it's sad. Like, Harry Potter's, like, our generation's childhood. And
yeah.
it's over.
I mean, I remember I
It
was
all
too
ends.
young to read the first book. I was like,
I read it.
I don't even remember.
I was in 2nd grade.
Second
Yeah,
grade?
I was in, like...
For some reason, my mom read it to me. I remember the first one I read.
Maybe you
was-
couldn't read,
I
man.
The first one I read was Chamber of Secrets, but I read them all as they came out. Though.
Yeah, that's what I did, too. My mom read, like, the first 2 to me, because I was, like,
Okay,
first grade.
okay.
Holy crap.
Anyway, back to the movie. So
I'll click on Emma Watson.
no, I'll do it. I'll do that later. That's for the ending. So
No, there's some sick pervs there.
Okay.
there's not. Anyway, so there's not really much to the plot. I mean, like it's basically what I said.
It's a fight.
what you expect. It's the final battle, basically. It all ends. That's the tagline. Whatever. So then now the acting. You have Harry, Ron, and Hermione. They're back. Like we said, this is their best acting because this is the most emotional one because they have people. You know, we're not going to give away like really specific stuff like who dies, but you
A
have
lot of people die.
Yes.
A lot of
There's
people randomly make out with each other, like really randomly.
It was pretty awesome.
And weird parts.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, like when you wouldn't expect it at all.
Like, they've all grown up, and this is, like, their last film together, so you can definitely tell that.
Yeah, you could tell
It was
that they
emotional
put
for
everything
them.
into it, and like I was saying,
The
everybody's
special
like
effects are amazing.
lots of people dying left and right, so there's lots of emotions, and this has a way more serious tone than a lot of them, obviously. So I would say this is the best acting by everybody. I thought the part that Snape was in, he was probably the best. I always like
the
Snape
best
the
he's
best.
been.
I mean, Alan Rickman's great and everything, but you know he was really good.
Hans.
What?
No, Die Hard.
Okay. Yo,
What do you want, Hans?
John McClane.
But the special effects.
Special effects are great, and we
It's
saw.
hard to beat the first, but this definitely did.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. The special effects in the first suck.
yeah. We saw the 3D XD or whatever, and
Freaking $14.
I thought it was worth it though. Like
No.
it looked really good.
It was not worth it.
I thought it was awesome.
I thought there was like 2 scenes of 3D in the entire movie.
No, I thought it just makes everything look better.
Well,
It was
but I don't
not
think it
worth
was
it.
$14 worth of
This
better.
movie is not worth seeing in XD. I'll tell
It's
you that.
kind of like what was
It's
that?
worth it.
They don't know XD.
Release the Kraken. What was that
Keep
movie?
everything
Clash
that
of
has
Titans.
XD.
Clash of the Titans
No,
in
almost.
3D had one scene in 3D.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So let's talk about obviously what we loved and what we hated. So
Well,
let's
our-
start out with what we hated because I don't think there's going to be much. So,
I
Go
thought
ahead.
this one felt rushed. Like.
but you
I
have to
don't know
remember
why.
that this is half a book.
Yeah.
You have to
It's
remember
half
that.
a book, but like the ending came up and I was like, "That's it." Like I don't know. I thought it would have been longer, but
Yeah, it was
overall,
it's under 2 hours. But
overall it was good.
Okay, I have one.
okay.
Okay, let's say at the end of the movie when they show them
I was
everybody,
going to talk about that. Do you want to talk about that or you want me to do it?
we can both talk about it. See, like at the end of the movie, they show 19 years later, and then they
Remember
show
the book?
yeah.
It ends at Hogwarts, and then there's like a quick epilogue, which is 19 years later. And they have that in here, and you can go ahead and talk about it. 'Cause I
Yeah,
have the same issue. I know what you're going to say.
yeah. Harry and Ron and Ginny and Hermione are all grown up 19 years later, and
They're sending their kids off to Hogwarts.
yeah, and they're supposed to be like 40 years old, but they look like they're 16.
Like literally,
So-
like okay.
Hard.
This is what I heard. I heard a while back that they were going to use like the Benjamin Button technology to make them look older, but you could recognize them. I was like, all right, so they're going to definitely look older. And then we also heard that they were completely different actors. I don't know who said that. That was pretty stupid. Because they clearly were not. Basically, this is what happened.
We also heard
they
there was a
added
musical. That
sideburns.
wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
They
is
added
sideburns.
to
That's
Harry,
it.
and that
Yeah,
was
so
it.
basically,
They, like, glue on.
you have Daniel Radcliffe. You see him in the last scene as like a teenager, and you're like, okay, so that's what he looks like. Then it goes to this 19 years later. He looks the exact same. He has longer sideburns. He has a bit more facial hair. That's
And his
it.
hair's combed.
Emma Watson looks nothing.
The
They didn't do
exact
They didn't
same.
do anything to her.
And then
Ron looks fatter.
Ginny's
Ginny looks like
Ugly.
Ginny looks like she's 4.
Jenny looks like she like beats Harry and his son. It's just fucking mean. She's like, why did I marry the boy who lived? I
and
hate this marriage.
Draco Malfoy's in it, and he just has like a crap load of facial hair. But
like a
otherwise,
goatee.
otherwise it's the same guy. When I first saw his goatee, I was like, wow, it's a nice goatee. But yeah. So that was my biggest complaint. I was just like,
Chris,
this-
do you-
because obviously
do you
this
have
this
any
was like the
complaints?
last Harry Potter movie. They should have put more
I
effort
don't think so.
into that part. I thought. Any
No,
other
other than
complaints?
this.
I have one other one.
I'm trying to think.
Now I know if like you read the book, I felt like in the seventh one there's a lot of like big characters that weren't in the last book as much, but in this one I felt like some of the major characters were barely in it. Like Hagrid,
Yeah.
he's in it for like a scene or two.
Move your laptop. I can't see your face.
Okay. Ginny's in it for like 3 different scenes. It's just like
And she says like 3 words.
you expected,
All-
Harry, I
wait,
missed you.
the first word
I
is
guess that's 4.
Harry.
just like in every movie. And like yeah, so that's all my complaints. What I loved is, I loved how.
Wait, let Chris say his bad thing.
Oh, did you have them?
No, I've mentioned already.
Okay.
Oh!
I mean, the best parts about it was it definitely stayed true to the book. So I am glad they made it 2 parts because I did feel.
No, I remember.
Okay, go.
Okay, I
Oh.
remember. Okay, so
Oh.
the only small complaint is they were like talking about how like much of a jerk James was, like in the book.
Yeah.
And then the only thing they showed in the movie is like he knocks Snape over.
Yeah, he like nudges him. He's like. "Ugh."
But like in the book, it's like they hung him upside down in his underwear.
That's what I hated
and
about
stuff.
the book because like they made like Harry's dad who's like seems to be this great guy, made him look like such an asshole, and you're just like.
But then the rest of the time, he's like this loving, like a loving ghost, like
Yeah, he's
Harry,
like he's a loving
we're
ghost.
always
Like
there with
he's
you.
like we've never left Harry. It's like no, but okay. So the things I loved the special effects. I loved how it's definitely stayed true to the book for the most part. And that reminds me, the other complaint I had was they changed Voldemort's death in this a little bit, which I kind of thought made it a little anticlimactic. If you, I'm not going to tell you like what it was in the book, but
I
it was
remember.
different. If you go back and look at it, it was a little bit different. I didn't like it as much, but I mean, I loved everything.
He didn't shoot into crystals.
And Neville's a badass.
No, Neville is.
I love Neville.
So let's rate it.
Wait, do you have any other things that stand
You
out?
said him.
All right, well, Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2, I'm gonna give it a 5. Because even though it does have
Out of
faults,
5?
yeah, even though it does have faults, like, and it's only like a couple things, it's still just like the pluses outweigh the faults so much that I can't give it anything less than perfect because I had such a good time.
I would, just because the whole series is pretty awesome and it's over.
So
Yeah, and the fact that it's over, you have to
what are you gonna give it?
You give it 5. 4.5 to 5.
I'm
give
gonna
it a 5.
Give it 5. Give it a 5!
I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
What a fad.
I'll give it.
4.75. Take it or leave it.
I'll give it a 5. It was good.
Okay.
I'm gonna get a 4. No, I'm just kidding. 5.
4 5s. That
Yeah.
makes 20.
It's a
Yep.
little rushed, but it's a 5.
Okay. And as our closer.
Just show them.
All right, it's
It's like,
See you guys. Remember.
Emma Watson.
Oh yeah, and another extremely big plus. If you haven't seen the movie yet, when you do, watch out for this.
Wait.
Keith and I caught this in the very beginning. Well, not like almost in
Nah,
the beginning. No,
come on.
listen to this. You know what I'm gonna say?
Yes.
Near the beginning of the movie, there's a certain scene that involves falling people, and one of those people may be Emma Watson, as it may have a camera.
you're
Show-
such a
You're
pervert.
pervert.
I liked it, and it was and it was in 3D.
Okay, that's
Emma
enough of
Watson's
that.
a nice
Remember, guys,
lady.
shittiest critics on YouTube.
Literally.
See ya.